Hello. Hello. Take it. So today's lecture is on sepsis. Okay. So sepsis. So the contents of today's lecture would be what is sepsis, the definition, the pathophysiology, the etiology, the clinical features, the management, and the summary. ठीक है? Okay. So from the last lecture, we had studied the types of shock, right? So there were four kinds of shock: hypovolemic shock, cardiogenic shock, neurogenic shock, and septic shock. And the characteristics of septic shock, we all know that it had decreased peripheral resistance, decreased systolic blood pressure, a high cardiac output state, and it has a high pulse rate, right? So this diagram is again here, and basically we start with the patient having shock, and we see if the extremities are cold or clammy, or if they are warm and bounding, right? If the extremities are warm and bounding, that means it's a high cardiac output state. Yet if it is shock, I mean the blood pressure is low, yet there is high cardiac state, that simply means that the systemic vascular resistance is also low, and hence resulting in shock, right? So we have less peripheral resistance and less systolic blood pressure. So this is a type of distributive shock. Okay. So what is sepsis? Hippocrates defined sepsis by rotting flesh and festering wounds, while Galen said that sepsis, he defined sepsis as a laudable event required for wound healing. Both of them were right to some extent. Um, then came the germ theory by Pasteur, and they termed sepsis as blood poisoning. And they said that it is due to pathogen invasion and spread in bloodstream of the host. That is, sepsis is due to the pathogen invasion and spread of the pathogen in the bloodstream of the host. Now, this theory had various problems, like it was found that patients of sepsis, when we remove the pathogen from the blood, still the patient were not improving. So this theory of septicemia did not hold true. In 992, Bourne and colleagues proposed that the host, not the germ, was responsible for pathogenesis of sepsis. That is, they defined sepsis as a systemic inflammatory response to the infection. Are you getting my point? The germ comes into the body, and there is a systemic inflammatory response by the host to the infection. And that is what is responsible for sepsis. But this has its own problems. Like many patients, it was found that many patients developed acute organ dysfunction in response to infection without a measurable inflammatory excess. There was no systemic inflammatory response in some patients, yet they were known to have organ dysfunction in response to infection. So we gradually understood that both pro and anti-inflammatory responses are present, along with significant changes in other pathways. So what is sepsis? Okay. So this is a very basic and easy slide to tell you what is sepsis. So sepsis now is defined as a dysregulated host response to infection, right? It is no more a systemic inflammatory response, but a dysregulated host response to infection. Severe sepsis would be the sepsis plus acute organ dysfunction, while septic shock, as we all know, is a subset of sepsis complicated by obviously hypotension, right? So this is a very basic thing you need to understand, that sepsis is a dysregulated host response to infection. Okay. Now we come to the official definition given in Harrison. So according to this table, we have two things: sepsis and septic shock. So according to the criteria in 991 and 2003, that is sepsis 1 and sepsis 2 guidelines, sepsis was a suspected or documented infection plus two or more than two variables of systemic inflammatory response syndrome criteria, that is the SIRS criteria, right? But now latest is 2016, that is sepsis 3 guidelines. This we also had a look in the previous lecture, that is a suspected or documented infection and an acute rise in more than or equal to 2 SOFA points, that is sepsis related organ failure assessment point, right? So SIRS criteria is written right here. It includes 1 point H for the following, that is fever more than 100.4 degree Fahrenheit or less than 96.8 degree Fahrenheit, tachypnea, tachycardia, leukocytosis, and leukopenia, right? But this does not hold true anymore, because now we have redefined sepsis, and the criteria in 2016, that is the sepsis 3 guideline, says that it is a suspected infection and acute increase in more than or equal to 2 SOFA points, right? So I will zoom this table a bit and show you the important points. So sepsis definition is a life-threatening organ dysfunction caused by a dysregulated host response to infection. right? Very simple. It's an organ dysfunction caused by a dysregulated host response to infection, and the criteria we use is the SOFA score. So the suspected infection and an acute increase in two or more than two SOFA points. While septic shock is a subset of sepsis with hypotension, right? This is what I told you. So this is nothing but a subset of sepsis in which there is underlying circulatory and cellular abnormalities, that is hypotension. And how do you define septic shock? Septic shock will be defined as a suspected or documented infection, that is sepsis only, plus vasopressor therapy needed to maintain a mean arterial pressure at more than 65 mmHg, right? So there was hypotension, but the hypotension is so severe that it requires vasopressor therapy to maintain a mean arterial pressure of 65 mmHg and serum lactate more than 2 millimoles per liter despite adequate fluid resuscitation. So definition of septic shock has three components. One, it has to have sepsis. Second, we need there is requirement of vasopressor therapy to maintain a mean arterial pressure of 65 mm of mercury, and also despite fluid resuscitation, the serum lactate is still more than 2 millimoles per liter. We'll go on what is serum lactate and these things in later slides. Okay, so this is with the definition, right? So okay, so we know the sepsis is equal to more than 2 equal to SOFA points, right? So this is the table of the SOFA score, and infection is nothing but this thing. Sepsis is nothing but infection plus SOFA score more than or equal to 2, right? But this exactly, this is a very confusing table and a tough table. So we devised something called quick SOFA for this. Q SOFA or quick SOFA. So quick SOFA, basically we know that this required multiple lab values, right? So quick SOFA was a quick score which requires which was proposed as a clinical prompt to identify patients at high risk of sepsis outside ICU, right? So quick SOFA consists of 3 points. It consists of hypotension, that is systolic blood pressure less than 100 mmHg, altered mental status, and tachypnea, that is respiratory rate more than 22 per minute, right? So if a score of 2 more than 2 is met, it simply suggests that there is a greater outcome of there is a greater risk of poor outcome, right? The patient is at higher risk of sepsis. This does not indicate the patient is in sepsis. It simply means that if the patient in casualty is coming to you with a quick SOFA score of 2 more than 2, he will probably have a higher risk of going to sepsis and he might require ICU, right? So how do we remember this? This is too simple, but still there's something called rule of 2. That is how I remember it. That is 2 is that the score needs a 2 or more than 2 criteria to be fulfilled. Second, tachypnea, respiratory rate is more than 2, that is respiratory rate is more than 22 per minute. Also, the hypotension, that is systolic blood pressure, is in 2 digits. Systolic blood pressure is in 2 digits. That is nothing but 99 or less, that is less than 100, right? So we can remember the rule of 2, systolic blood pressure is in 2 digits, tachypnea, respiratory rate more than 22 per minute, and altered mental status. This is nothing but quick SOFA. Okay. So once quick SOFA is met, you can apply the whole SOFA table. So this table is here again, and we will memorize this. This is very simple, nothing to worry about, right? So इसको हम अगर ध्यान से देखें, so left hand side में there are systems and right one there is points from 0 to 4, right? So basically how many systems do we have in our body, right? We have renal system, we have cardiovascular system, we have respiratory system, we have hepatic system, we have neuro system, and we have hematology, right? So we have 6 systems. Renal system में क्या होगा? Obviously we will measure the serum creat levels, the urine output. In CVS we will measure the blood pressure, the mean arterial blood pressure. Respiratory may we will measure the PaO2 by FiO2 ratio. What is this? So the PaO2 is a arterial pressure of oxygen in blood upon the fraction of inspired air, right? So this PaO2 is we get this by doing arterial blood gas analysis, that is ABG of the patient. Hepatic may we have bilirubin. Neuro may have GCS. GCS is Glasgow Coma Scale. So Glasgow Coma Scale is basically to measure the level of consciousness in a patient, right? And it has a maximum value of 50 and minimum of 3. And hematoma we have platelet count. So we have 6 systems and 0, 1 to 4, 4 points. So SOFA score is a nothing but 24-point table, right? So here we come. So respiration में PO2 by FiO2, ठीक है, 0 to 4 हो गया. Platelets हो गया, 0 में less than 1.5 lakhs, that is the normal value. 4 में less than 20,000. Bilirubin हो गया less than 0.2, 1.2, 4 में आ गया more than 12. Cardiovascular में mean arterial pressure more than 70, less than 70, then the pressure which requires inotropes. So and GCS में I told you maximum score is 15, minimum is 3, so 4 will be less than 6. Okay. Renal creatinine output पे ये हो गया. So basically you don't need to memorize all the 24 points, but definitely you should know the parameters, that is the fixed systems and the values we need to calculate the SOFA score, right? And the sepsis would be nothing but the infection plus a SOFA score of 2 or more than 2, right? So this, we come to this definition again. I'm showing you this again and again because this is a very important table. So one final time, sepsis is definition a life-threatening organ dysfunction caused by a dysregulated host response to infection, and the criteria is we just studied that acute increase in more than equal to 2 SOFA points. Well, septic shock was sepsis plus hypotension, and its criteria would be sepsis plus vasopressor therapy needed to maintain a mean arterial pressure of 65 mmHg and serum lactate more than 2 despite adequate resuscitation. ठीक है. So SOFA score हो गया, quick SOFA हो गया. ठीक है. So now we come to the pathophysiology. So, for many years, the clinical features of sepsis were considered the result of excessive inflammatory host response, right? But more recently, it has become apparent that infection triggers are much more complex, variable, and a prolonged host response than was previously thought. It's not a simply a inflammatory host response, but a dysregulated host response. So the specific response of each patient depends on the pathogen and the host, right? Pathogen में तो pathogen जो attack कर रहा है उसमें कितना उसको कितना load है, कितना virulence है, and host का genetic composition and comorbidities. And this too is with different responses at local and systemic levels. So generally we have two things. We have pro-inflammatory reactions and anti-inflammatory responses. So pro-inflammatory reactions, which are directed at eliminating pathogens, are responsible for collateral tissue damage and sepsis. Whereas the anti-inflammatory responses, you're getting my point, anti-inflammatory responses. So these will be implicated in enhanced susceptibility to secondary infections that will occur later in the course. Okay, so this is dysregulated host response. Now we come to the pathogenesis. So we start with the pathogen, that is the microbial products. What is PAM? PAMs are pathogen associated molecular patterns. Pathogen associated molecular patterns. So basically this is a summary where the microbial products or the pathogen associated molecular patterns, okay, they activate the endothelial cells and innate immune system, initiating a cascade of events, right? So we need to activate the innate immune system consists of the complement active system and the neutrophil and monocyte activation. Okay. So here we are, the microbial products. The microbial products, they interact with the receptors of the innate immune system, right? They will interact with the receptors of the innate immune system, and which in turn will activate the neutrophil and monocytes. These neutrophil and monocytes will release certain cytokines and cytokine-like mediators like tumor necrosis factor, interleukin 1s, interferon gamma. All these cytokines will act on the endothelial system to activate it. So there will be endothelial activation. One very important function of these cytokines would be to loosen the endothelial cell tight junctions, right? To loosen the endothelial cell tight junction, thus leading the vessels to be very leaky. They become very leaky and they result in accumulation of protein-rich edema throughout the body, right? And here we have complement activation, and we have anaphylatoxins C3A, C5A. We have chemotactic fragments like C5A and opsin C3B. Okay, so this I think you would know this better than me. Okay, so microbial products which are pathogen associated molecular patterns, they will activate the innate immune system like this. Okay. So now endothelial activation and injury is a key pathogenesis mechanism of sepsis, right? So this will further lead to activation of more vasoactive mediators like nitric oxide, interleukin 6, interleukin 8. What is PF? PF is platelet activating factor, reactive oxygen species. All these together will result in smooth muscle dilatation of the vessels. Right, they will contribute to the smooth muscle relaxation of the vessels, resulting in vasodilatation. Vasodilatation, very, very, very important. Okay. There will be increased permeability. Why is there increased permeability? As I told you, the cytokines were acting on the endothelium of the vessels, and they were loosening the tight junctions. So there is increased permeability, and there is decreased perfusion. Okay. So the pro-inflammatory state and endothelial cell activation are associated with sepsis, leads to wide vascular leakage and tissue edema, which have deleterious effects on both nutrient delivery and waste removal. Right. ठीक है, तो हमें सबको समझ आ रहा है ना? Huh. So these cytokines and cytokine mediators are actually the main villain in our story, right? So the microbial products were activating the innate immune system, and this in turn is, yes, attacking the microbial products. This is attacking the microbial products, but at the cost of what? At the cost of what? It is doing many things. Many other things. So cytokine and cytokine mediators क्या क्या कर रही हैं? देखो, एक तो they were activating the endothelial activation resulting in vasoactive mediators. ठीक है. Second, they are responsible for many systemic effects like fever. One of the very important symptoms of sepsis is fever, right? So these cytokines are also responsible for systemic effects like fever, diminished myocardial contractility, metabolic abnormalities. And ये देखो इधर anti-inflammatory mediators भी होते हैं, right? Like IL-10, and this will cause apoptosis of the inflammatory cells. So basically, anti-inflammatory mediators, and this in turn will lead to immunosuppression. Okay, so these cytokine mediators are very important for the pathogenesis. Yes, they do attack the bacteria, but at the cost of causing a lot of harm to the body. Right. So this holds true, right? The immune system is like, did you destroy the bacteria? Yes, I did destroy the bacteria at the cost of what? Everything, everything, and that is everything is sepsis. ओके, ठीक है. तो हम कहाँ पर थे? हम यहाँ पर थे, है ना? अब हम आगे चलते हैं. So we'll go to the left side of the flow chart. Now this, what is this? So this is the activation of coagulation cascade. ठीक है, activation of coagulation cascade. This is really important. So what happens is there is a procoagulant state in the body. The procoagulants like tissue factor, TFS tissue factor is increased, while the anticoagulants of a body, TFPI क्या होता है? Tissue factor pathway inhibitor. Tissue factor pathway inhibitor, thrombomodulin, protein C, these are anticoagulants. These are decreased. These are decreased. While tissue factor is increased. So there is a procoagulant state. ठीक है. What is PAI? PAI is plasminogen activator inhibitor. ठीक है. Plasminogen क्या करता है? Plasminogen gets converted to plasmin, which is a fibrinolytic. ठीक है. Plasminogen activator therefore will be a fibrinolytic, but plasminogen activator inhibitor would be antifibrinolytic. ठीक है. Thus increasing the procoagulant state of the body. These two together will basically they will activate the thrombin, and thrombin rich, they will activate the thrombin and result in microvascular thrombosis. ठीक है. So because of the systemic activation of thrombin, we have fibrin-rich thrombi, right? Fibrin-rich thrombi will go to the vessels and block them and result in microvascular thrombosis. And sometimes this can lead to DIC. DIC is disseminated intravascular coagulation. So this, a full-blown DIC can lead to consumption coagulopathy, consumption of the coagulation factors and platelets, and this can lead to frank bleeding and further harm. Okay. So when I talked about vasodilation in case community, there was decreased perfusion. So decreased perfusion क्यों हो रहा है? You have to understand this. So decreased perfusion is basically one thing is the vessels are leaky, right? So the blood through the broken endothelial cells is going out, right? So distal flow नहीं हो रहा, ठीक है? Once this blood flows out, there will be more and more interstitial edema. This interstitial edema will further press the small vessels, further decreasing the perfusion. And moreover, this microvascular thrombosis. This microvascular thrombosis is very important to further release leads to decreased perfusion. This will lead to tissue ischemia. Okay. So we have systemic hypotension. We have interstitial edema and small vessel thrombosis. All this basically leads to decreased delivery of oxygen and nutrients to the tissues, which fail to properly utilize those nutrients that are delivered due to cellular hypoxia. So all this leads to cellular hypoxia. Okay? And this will occur in all the organs, and this will ultimately lead to multi-organ failure. Okay? Okay. So this is was the whole table which I took from Robbins, and we'll quickly see क्या था ये. So we started with microbial products called PAMs. Okay? Pathogen associated molecular patterns. This activates the innate immunity by interacting with its receptors. Receptors कौन से होते हैं? Toll-like receptors. So this will activate the neutrophils and monocytes. This will release cytokines, and this will like tumor necrosis factor, IL-1 and interferon gamma. ठीक है? This will also activate the complement system. ठीक है? Both of them will cause endothelial activation. Cytokines are very naughty. what they will do is they will do many things. Okay, yes, they will kill the bacteria, but at the cost of what? At the cost of what? At the cost of many other things. Okay. Endothelial activation were the most important things in the pathogenesis, and this releases reactive oxygen species, IL-6, islet NO. These vasoactive mediators are responsible for vasodilatation. Right? Vasodilatation very important in sepsis. This vasodilatation is very important for systemic hypotension. है ना? Increased permeability क्यों हो रही है? Because the cytokines have loosen the tight junctions of the endothelium, and there is decreased perfusion. Why? Because of microvascular thrombosis due to increased coagulant state of the body, microvascular thrombosis, and less perfusion. ठीक है? All this leads to multi-organ failure. So this is pretty simple, and this is a very important diagram you need to draw in your exams. I think sepsis में तो question आता है in pathology. So you can draw this, right? This is another diagram. This is given in Harrison. Okay. So this is also a beautiful diagram. As you can see, we have blood vessels, the microcirculation, बीच में interstitium, followed by the cell. ठीक है. बिल्कुल same, कुछ नहीं है. So we have the pathogens. Pathogens. We have PAMs, which are pathogen-associated molecular patterns. ठीक है. These will interact with the receptors of the innate immune cells. Receptors कौन से होते हैं? Toll-like receptors, NLRs, and CLRs. Okay, this will activate the innate immune cells like macrophages and neutrophils, and this will release inflammatory mediators. These inflammatory mediators, cytokines, are responsible for everything. They will activate the endothelial system, leading to endothelial leak and dysfunction. Endothelial leak will lead to the protein-rich fluid goes into the interstitium, right? So there is tissue edema. This tissue edema further presses the small vessels distal to it, right? So there is tissue damage. There is activation of the coagulation system. Thrombus platelets get formed. ठीक है, ये वही है ना, देखो. We have tissue factor, antithrombin. So we have tissue factors decrease, right? Tissue factor pathway inhibitors decrease. Tissue factors increase. Protein C, activated protein C, and antifibrinolytic agents are decreased, right? This leads to increased coagulation and fibrinolytic thrombi, leading to macrovascular thrombosis. ठीक है. And the endothelial cell activation also led to increased vasoactive mediators like nitric oxide, IL-1, IL-6. This will lead to vasodilatation and hypotension. Vasodilatation, hypotension. Okay, all this will result to decreased oxygenation in the cell. Tissue oxygen gets decreased. Okay, and mitochondrial dysfunction, and the lactate comes out and gets into the vessel. So what is lactate? So basically, glucose gets metabolized by aerobic metabolism. And aerobic metabolism is possible in the presence of oxygen. That leads to formation of pyruvate, and this pyruvate will go to आपका TCA cycle, and this will lead to the production of ATP. But if there is no oxygen and there is less disoxygenation, glycolysis will not lead to pyruvate formation, but glucose will get converted to lactate with minimal energy formation, right? So this lactate comes into the blood, and this lactate is an important marker which indicates that there is less disoxygenation and the person might be in sepsis. Okay, so नीचे क्या लिखा है? नीचे क्या लिखा है? Inflammatory response is typical interaction between PAMs and the PAMs, which is expressed by the pathogens, and the pathogen recognition receptors like TLR, NLR, CLR by the innate immune cells. ठीक है. Endothelial dysfunction, coagulation, activation बिल्कुल same है. ठीक है. So you can choose either of the diagrams. I think this would be better to make in the exam. अगर मतलब देख लो. ठीक है. So this is with the pathogenesis. Okay, now we come to the etiology. Etiology, the most common cause of sepsis would be pneumonia. Most common cause of sepsis is pneumonia. Other includes any intra-abdominal infection and any genitourinary infection. So basically, this is including everything. I mean, pneumonia, intra-abdominal infections, and genitourinary infections. Okay. This is a very important point, that blood cultures are typically positive in only 30% of the patients, right? They are not always positive. And blood cultures में क्या मिलेगा? Gram positive organisms मिलते हैं like Staph aureus, Strep pneumoniae. Gram negative organisms मिल सकते हैं like E. coli, Klebsiella, Pseudomonas. ठीक है. Though if you do a cross section study or something like that, you will find that the blood cultures are mostly gram negative. Gram negative bacteria is more common. ठीक है. But आजकल there is increasing trend towards gram positive organisms. ठीक है. Mainly due to hospital-acquired infections, there is an increasing trend towards gram positive organisms. Okay, so this is an important point, that the most common cause of sepsis is pneumonia. And the most common secondary infection are catheter related bloodstream infections. ठीक है, catheter related bloodstream infections are very common and these are secondary infections. ठीक है. So the clinical manifestations are very very variable. Actually it depends on the site of the initial infection. Like अगर pneumonia होगा तो pneumonia के clinical features होंगे, intra-abdominal infection होगा तो उसके features होंगे, है ना. So it depends on the site of initial infection, the offending pathogen and the pattern of acute organ dysfunction. ठीक है. And the most common systems affected are the cardiovascular system and the respiratory system. ठीक है. Okay, so the most common systems involved are the CVS and the RESPI. Okay. In respiratory system, sepsis usually manifests as ARDS. ARDS is an acute respiratory distress syndrome. To make you understand ARDS, this requires a separate lecture for it. But for now, the name is self-sufficient. Acute respiratory distress syndrome. The patient presents with acute respiratory distress. He's in hypoxemia, and there's bilateral infiltrates in his lung. Right. Okay, and the most common cause of ARDS, etiology of ARDS is also pneumonia. Right? In cardiovascular, it manifests as hypotension. ठीक है? We know why hypotension is there in sepsis. अब तो बहुत अच्छे से आता है हमें. The primary thing is there is decreased systemic vascular resistance. So why is there such decreased systemic vascular resistance? This was due to vasodilatation in the vessels. ठीक है? And there are many other causes like there is vascular leakage, there is interstitial edema. There is nothing. This leads to hypotension, and there is myocardial depression likely by the bacterial toxins that further exacerbates the hypotension. Right. The kidney may manifest as AKI, that is acute kidney injury. Okay. The patient may have decreased urine output, rising serum creatinine levels, and he may need dialysis. CNS may there is the patient may present with coma and delirium, and he may be what we call commonly in wards septic encephalopathy. It's a kind of a non-focal encephalopathy. Okay. And other manifestation like altered glycemic control, as the patient may present with disseminated intravascular coagulation. Okay. So ये diagram हर जगह आ जाता है. ठीक है. You can use this. ये diagram हर जगह आ जाता है and you can use the diagram anywhere you want. जहाँ समझ में आए डाल दो. ठीक है. Because this is an amazing diagram. ठीक है. The patient presents with shock. Mean arterial pressure बहुत कम है. You can see it's a cold extremities, warm extremities, right? So if our sepsis patient goes into shock, he will have warm bounding extremities due to high cardiac output, and we will see कि ये distributive shock है, most common cause being septic shock. ठीक है. And we'll give him antibiotics and aggressive resuscitation. This will study अभी कुछ आगे. ठीक है. So clinical manifestation में क्या लिखोगे? लिखोगे कि CVS SP most important है, RESPI में ARDS, CVS में hypotension. मतलब basically all 5 systems are involved, and you can just write only one, and you can draw this diagram. Okay. So now we come to the last part, that is management. ठीक है. So management of sepsis, right? हाँ. So this table is given in Harrison. It's a very लंबा चौड़ा table, and I will try to make this easier for you. ठीक है. I will try to make this easier for you. So basically it has 4 parts. First is resuscitation. ठीक है. These are elements of care in sepsis and septic shock. First is resuscitation. Second is infection control. Third is respiratory support, while the fourth is general supportive care. Okay. So the first line of sepsis, and very important, is resuscitation. This is a very important part of the management of sepsis, and this will be done by IV crystalloids. IV crystalloids, most preferred is normal saline. ठीक है. कैसे शुरू करोगे? We'll begin this by 30 ml per kilogram, and we'll begin this within the first 3 hours. 30 ml per kilogram within the first 3 hours. Very very important. ठीक है. And if the patient is in shock, it needs vasopressors. ठीक है. The target mean arterial pressure. Okay, so the target mean arterial pressure is 65 mm of mercury. This was in our definition of septic shock, right? So the patient will need vasopressors, right? And the vasopressor of choice, is norepinephrine. The vasopressor of choice is norepinephrine. ठीक है. And we can also use vasopressin, but that is only for support. Support मतलब to reduce the norepinephrine dose, है ना? But the primary vasopressor of choice is norepinephrine. ठीक. I hope you know the mechanisms of these drugs, because pharmacology तो तुम लोग पढ़ ही रहे हो, है ना? नॉरएपिनेफ्रिन क्या करता है? अल्फा 1 अल्फा 2 बीटा 1 पैक करता है ना? वेसोप्रेसिन इज ADH. डोपामाइन acts on dopa receptors, alpha receptors, beta receptors. ठीक है. We have a drug called dopamine, which is a direct beta 1 stimulator, and if the patient is showing persistent evidence of hypoperfusion, despite fluids and despite vasopressors, then we have to begin him on dobutamine. ठीक है. And RBC transfusion कब करेंगे? When the hemoglobin is only when the hemoglobin is less than 7 grams per deciliter. ठीक है. So resuscitation में हमने पढ़ा कि NS चाहिए 30 ml per kilogram से, vasopressor of choice is norepinephrine, and RBC transfusion only when hemoglobin is less than 7. Then when we come to infection control, it is very important to take appropriate samples for microbiological cultures before antimicrobial therapy is started. ठीक है. What does this mean? मतलब basically, when the patient comes to you, you should take his samples, blood sample. You should send the lab this thing. You should send the blood cultures. You should fill the blood culture bottle and send to the microbiology lab before antimicrobial therapy is started. Okay. Once the antimicrobial therapy is started, the blood will have antibiotics and the organism might not show up on the cultures. Okay. But there should be no substantial delay in doing this. Okay. अगर निकल सकता sample निकालो. But it is very, very important to initiate the IV antibiotics ASAP, as soon as possible. That is within 1 hour. You should initiate the IV antibiotics as soon as possible within 1 hour. ठीक है. And क्या करोगे? Empirical broad spectrum antibiotics are given, which are likely to cover all the pathogens. ठीक है. We should narrow down the antibiotics once the pathogens are identified on the cultures and the sensitivities are determined. Or if the patient is clinically improving, we can narrow down the antibiotics. And definitely daily assessment for de-escalation of antimicrobial therapy must be done. Okay, so antibiotics play a very important role in sepsis, and we should initiate IV antibiotics as SAP. This is a table to how to initiate antimicrobial therapy for severe sepsis. I don't think you need to go into this. ठीक है, मैंने भी अभी तक ढंग से नहीं पढ़ा ये. तो सेप्टिक शॉक में ये सब देते हैं. अगर मतलब there are different conditions. मतलब if the patient is present with neutropenia, then you start on these things, and splenectomy में these things, right? And this will also depend on your sensitivity to various regions on MUSA. ठीक है. But I will just put this for the sake of completion of the topic. You don't need to worry much about this table. है ना? But you just need to know basics. That is, you should initiate the antibiotic ASAP within 1 hour. And empirical broad spectrum antibiotics काफी है. And जब काम हो जाए, we should narrow down the antibiotics and de-escalate them if possible. ठीक है. Now the third one is respiratory support, right? So considering the patient has gone into sepsis-induced ARDS, he is on ventilator. The target tidal volume will be 6 ml per kilogram. Normally we keep this as 12 ml per kilogram, but ARDS में there is a low tidal volume ventilation given and higher PEEP is given. Okay, so this is all the management of ARDS, which again you don't need to go into, and I just need to know that the sepsis made respiratory manifestation is this: the acute lung injury presenting as acute respiratory distress syndrome, and उसमें low tidal volume and high PEEP is preferred. ठीक है. The fourth is general supportive care. ठीक है. And इसमें क्या आएगा? There is a protocol-based approach to blood glucose management. Blood glucose management is very important. Renal replacement therapy might be required for the patient with sepsis and AKI, and dialysis. The patient may need dialysis. Pharmacological prophylaxis needed against venous thromboembolism. The patient is generally sick and is in coma and is bedridden, so it's a good idea to give him the pharmacological prophylaxis for DVT. And stress salsa prophylaxis should be given for risk factors for GI bleeding, right? And the goals of care and prognosis should definitely be discussed with the patient and the family. This is a very, very important part of the general supportive care. The relatives should be informed because it's a very the sepsis has very high mortality, and prognosis should definitely be explained to the patients, right? So this is the 4 points we just studied in the management of the patient of sepsis. We had resuscitation, we had infection control, respiratory support, general supportive care. Go back, read this table from Harrison, है ना? Okay, so this we come to the end of sepsis, and summary में I would like to tell you कि important points क्या थे, ठीक है? So बहुत simple है. So this slide is very important, ठीक है? Sepsis अब तो समझ आ गया ना? It is a life-threatening organ dysfunction caused by dysregulated host response. ठीक है? It is no more simply a systemic inflammatory response to the pathogen, but it is a dysregulated host response. ठीक है? And criteria sepsis guidelines are very important, and we define it by SOFA score. 2 or more than 2 SOFA is sepsis. ठीक है? Septic shock is a subset of sepsis with hypotension, and उसकी definition में 3 points हैं. 1, suspected infection. 2, vasopressor therapy needed to maintain and mean arterial pressure more than 65. ठीक है? And serum lactate more than 2 despite adequate fluid resuscitation. ठीक है, जहां पर मीन आर्टरी प्रेशर लिखा है वो मीन आर्टरी प्रेशर ही है, ठीक है। मीन आर्टरी प्रेशर इज डायस्टोलिक प्रेशर प्लस 1/3 ऑफ पल्स प्रेशर, ठीक है। एंड सिस्टोलिक ब्लड प्रेशर का पढ़ा था हमने क्विक सोफा में। क्विक सोफा में जो 3 पॉइंट थे, रूल ऑफ टू, क्विक सोफा वाज, अच्छा पढ़ते हैं, क्विक सोफा वाज रूल ऑफ टू. Rule of two was criterion is 2 points: tachypnea, respiratory 2 and hypotension, systolic blood pressure in 2 digits. This is systolic blood pressure. ठीक है, definition of septic shock में mean arterial blood pressure है जो 65 mmHg है. This is systolic blood pressure in quick SOFA. ठीक है, एंड क्विक सोफा कर लिया. अगर क्विक सोफा में क्राइटेरिया पॉजिटिव आता है तो द पेशेंट हैज अ ग्रेटर आउटकम, हैज अ ग्रेटर रिस्क एंड पुअर आउटकम. सो विल कैलकुलेट पूरा सोफा. सोफा इज अ 24 पॉइंट टेबल, है ना. पैरामीटर्स हमने याद हो गए थे, 6 होते हैं, यहाँ पर 4 है. सो इन्फेक्शन प्लस सोफा को 2 मोर देन इक्वल टू, दिस इज सेप्सिस, ठीक है. सो दिस टेबल, दिस 3 स्लाइड्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू गाइस, है ना. पैथोजेनेसिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. दिस टेबल इज अमेजिंग एंड इसको क्विकली एक बार देख लेते हैं. बहुत सिंपल था. कैसे बनाओगे? यू विल स्टार्ट विद माइक्रोबियल प्रोडक्ट्स, ठीक है. पैथोजन एसोसिएटेड मॉलिक्यूलर पैटर्न्स, माइक्रोबियल प्रोडक्ट्स है. दिस विल डू 3 थिंग्स: एक्टिवेट फैक्टर 12, ठीक है, दिस इज एक्सटेंसिव पाथवे ऑफ coagulation cascade. This activate complement system. Basically, the innate immunity consists of the complement system and the neutrophil monocytes. ठीक है, this will interact with the receptors of the innate immunity to release cytokines. Cytokines कौन से? TNF, IL-1, interferon gamma. ये सब रिलीज होंगे. This will activate endothelial. This will activate the endothelium. Endothelial activation होगा, ठीक है. This will loosen out the tight junctions, lead to weak leaky vessels. ठीक है. Definitely these will kill the microbial products, but at the cost of what? At the cost of everything. That is immunosuppression, systemic effects, and ये सब चीजें, है ना. तो एंडोथेलियल एक्टिवेट हुआ, उसने क्या किया? उसने रिलीज किया वेसोएक्टिव मीडिएटर्स, ठीक है. IL-6, IL-8, निट्रिक ऑक्साइड, lead to vasodilatation, ठीक है. Why is there increased permeability? Because the vessels are very leaky. Tight junctions have gone apart. ठीक है. Why is there decreased perfusion? Because there is vasodilatation, there is leakage, blood has gone bahar interstitium में, interstitial edema है, उसने distal small vessels को दबा दिया है, and there is coagulation cascade, procoagulant state in the body leading to microvascular thrombosis. This will also further lead to decreased perfusion and tissue ischemia. ठीक है, ये सब चीजें मिलके क्या करेंगे? मल्टी ऑर्गन फेलियर. So the end result of sepsis is multi organ failure. ठीक है. So this table is now very simple for us to make in the exam. Okay, now and finally क्या था? Most common cause of sepsis, pneumonia. ठीक है. Clinical features, most common system affected is cardiovascular system and respiratory system. Management, the first line has to be resuscitation. Resuscitation कैसे करोगे? ठीक है. Resuscitation कैसे करोगे? Normal saline 30 ml per kilogram within the first 3 hours. We will do infection control by antibiotics, respiratory care, and general supportive care. ठीक है. So these are a few important slides which you need to remember about sepsis. And I think we come to the end of our lecture here. ठीक है. And basically the aim of this lecture is to make it simpler for you to read from the book. You need to go back and read this chapter from the book. ठीक है. रॉबिन से पढ़ो. रॉबिन में I think 2-3 पेज का ही है. Harrison में 5-6 पेज का ही है. You need to go back. You need to read from Harrison. And what I have tried is I have made the difficult चीजें easy for you, and you will find it easier to read the chapter. ठीक है. But do go and read. And again, if you have any doubts, you can contact me on Facebook. My name is Arnav Garg, and you can also leave a message in my blog, drarnavgarg@blogspot.com. ठीक है. And I will happy to reply to your queries. Thank you so much, and we'll end this lecture here. Bye bye.